What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great morning. We've got some important news to get to, so let's jump right into it. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, taking the time, hitting that like button, subscribing, all the things you're doing. Cannot thank you enough, but trying to keep you up to date with every single thing that's happening in free agency. And well, we've got one of those important moves that we talked about over a month ago. You guys know I try to help the media, try to help a lot of these fans, a lot of people that claim to understand how the cap works, and we can all see they have no idea what they're talking about. So I make these shows in advance of preseason to try to help people understand when these moves come, what they exactly mean. So we talked about it about 2 months ago now almost, but we're here, and here I am to explain it all. So if you're seeing anybody out there talking about the Eagles don't have cap space, don't understand the Slay move, whatever it may be, I always tell you, feel free to tag me. I would love to help get people educated out there that claim to know what they're talking about, because it would just be much better if, people would stop complaining about things they don't know. So yeah, let's try to help some people, and I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here. Let's take a look at why this move is being made. So one thing if you guys saw my post, one thing I posted was I would assume that it would be a post June-1st designation. And I'm now seeing reporters follow suit in me saying that. So if they're following what I'm saying, then it probably is right. Because if you look at the money here, what we talked about a couple months ago when we talked about this move here this is the graphic from them. You see his cap hit, 26.1 mil plus. That is unacceptable. So you needed to do something to clear up cap space. We talked about, look, if you trade or release him, you are going to get some damn money, but didn't want to get rid of one of the top corners when you could restructure or extend. Sure, you're going to miss out on around 4 or 5 million there, but you still have one of your top corners. Now, knowing what I know about Darius Slay off the field, not exactly a great person. So, and again, this has nothing to do. If you're going to go get your money, dude. I mean, it's a business. I totally get it. But kind of had a feeling that if you didn't come to terms with something, this dude was happily going to walk. And, well, it looks like that is going to be the case. So what you do is, if you guys remember last season, we talked about this with Fletcher Cox. You're going to have to get rid of him regardless, just to get rid of that cap hit. Now, does that mean he can't re-sign here? No, he could actually re-sign on a completely different deal. But my thought process is, if he didn't want to restructure or extend that contract there, that's tough, because he still would have gotten paid, and he would have got paid up front. So not so sure they were able to come to terms. Now, this does not mean Darius Slay cannot come back, but he will go against the cap with that. We talked about, what was it, like 8 million dead money you saw there. So you're going to take that on. Let's look at this again, but you can prorate that money. You can spread that dead money out. So if you take on that 8.6 mil you see there, that is going to be the dead money, and 17.5 mil is what you will save in cap space. So hell yeah, let's go. I need to see the Philadelphia Eagles going out here and making moves like CJ Gardner-Johnson, getting Jalen Hurts extended, all these moves we've talked about for the last couple months, trying to get people prepared for certain moves that might happen like this, that will definitely rub people the wrong way. But you have to understand the cap. And I'm not being a jerk by saying that every single offseason, but these people that claim to know what they're talking about, they never get anything right, and they're so far off about what's happening because they don't understand the cap. And it's like, I'm making simplified graphics and explaining it for free. I'm literally giving you free information, and every year I try to explain it to them, but well, here we are again. Everybody's pissed, everybody's upset, and they just don't understand why the move. I have people, Cowboys fans, that are more upset about it than Eagles fans. It's like, look, man, there's a reason I talked about this 2 months ago. You have to be able to understand these things if you want to talk about them. So I mean, it is what it is. If more people are upset than Eagles fans, you got to feel good about that, because people are worried about the Philadelphia Eagles, and they should be. And them telling us that the Eagles are the best team in the league, that should make you feel good. And yo, my man Daniel, appreciate you tuning in, dude. Nice to see you live. Situation similar to last year when the team released Fletcher Cox. Yes, as I was just mentioning there, these are all moves that are possible, and I try to get in front of them. I always make those videos a couple months in advance of free agency and everything starting. So that way, when these things happen, people don't lose their effing minds. So there is definitely a possibility he can come back. Now, it's going to depend on what kind of money he wants. He was one of the top corners in the game last year. So we all know he had his issues at the end of the year, gave up that wide open touchdown in the Super Bowl. We know. But look, you can still bring him back. And I think we're going to allocate our money elsewhere first. We're going to give Hurts that extension, try to bring back CJ, make some other moves, and then we'll decide what we're going to do there. But definitely a move that can be made. Great question there, Daniel. Yes, he was released. I think yes. Look, that's something that can happen, but it's all about the money here, man. And he's one of the best corners. We just paid James Bradbury. We talked about it. I'd rather have Bradbury than Slay. He's younger. He's better. And well, I'd just rather have him. So you still keep your eye on the prize. And even if you bring him back, I still think you go to the draft, get a corner that can learn under these guys. But just like we talked about yesterday, that's still in the thought process, regardless of what happens with Slay. So, yeah, we'll see, man. I'd love to have him back. He's good for sure. But if he doesn't, want to come here and win a Super Bowl, hey, man, that's great. Obviously, his wife were big with the fans. You don't like that kind of stuff. You want more of the money kind of thing. Hey, that's you, man. It's a business. It's your life. You do whatever the hell you want, man. So we'll see what he does. Want to draft a corner? Yeah, man. I would love to. June-1st, we are not going to draft a corner. We will do that during the draft. But CJ, Gardner Johnson first, probably. Yeah. Zeke, no thank you. CJ, I would love that for sure. And we're going to see this. Yo, I'm with you, Liz. I'm with you, all of you. And look, I think CJ, we talked about this. We definitely have the money. And what did I say last night? Wait for the Slay and Lane Johnson moves to happen today, and then we'll see what happens. Well, sure enough, Slay is happening. So I think we'll get CJ Gardner Johnson news before too long. I got to stay looking at my phone here. I apologize. I never do this to you guys, but I got to stay up to date with what's going on here. I don't want to miss anything for you here, but Baker Mayfield going to the Bucs. That's pretty hilarious. Not going to lie to you, but doesn't look like anything crazy happened. If I miss it, you guys feel free to tell me in the chat if something happened here. But yes, we are going to want to draft defense. One of Arizona. Yeah, we'll see, man. One of the best corners. I'm sure they would love to have him. Over 60 million dead cap. How does that get spread out? What do you think about? Dead cap is just dead money each year. The stuff that I explain every single year. It's just the dead money that you have on these contracts that get prorated. So you're spreading out that dead money each time you see someone, like when we talked about trading for A.J. Brown and giving him a contract last year, when I explained how that could happen, explained how you could trade for a safety. I was able to see those things before they happen, because you have to understand that Howie's always going to back end those contracts per se. So he's going to take that, and you put that dead money on there, and look, so say the first year, it's going to be like $2 million cap hit. Then the next year, like $5 million. And then that third year, it's like $30 million cap hit. That's when you always see Howie restructuring people. So the media, fans get, well, oh my God, dead cap. No one knows. They don't even understand what dead cap is. So if someone's complaining about that, just tell them they're stupid and that they should come listen to how it actually works, because I don't know what people are. They tried the same thing with Carson Wentz. They tried that last year too. Oh, Eagles have dead cap. I don't know how to break this to people, but every team has dead cap. And that's how Howie's built such great rosters, because he understands how to fandangle that thing. And it's just pushing money back. So it's essentially, instead of having the cap right now, you push it down the road. So that's all it is. Now it affects your salary cap a little bit, but you're able to prorate that. And all that means is spread that money out. So that's something that we do every year, and I explain every single all-season video. You guys can go check out that 10 ways to save video, stay or go. I talk about all those things over and over and over and over again, trying to get the media to understand that stuff, but they know that they can get fans worked up if they just make up a big number, tell them that, and say it's bad. Look, you don't necessarily want money against the cap, but you do when you're competing for Super Bowls and building Super Bowl rosters. So every year the cap goes up. You just restructure those people. That money, it's not an issue, man. Don't let them make it more than it is. Probably they got Kaiser White. Yeah, something I talked about with Gannon there. A lot of those guys, being a top defense last year, people liked being good. I know the fans hated being good, but the players loved being the best in the league and making the Super Bowl. Like, that's actually a good thing, regardless of what the media is trying to spin. So they are going to want to continue being good. So, yeah, we talked about that. Guys could definitely leave for Arizona. I like a lot of them, and we've talked about them. Gonzalez, definitely. We talked about Porter. We've talked about so many guys that you guys have brought up Ringo, Branch. There are so many names in here in the secondary that, bro, we're going to have such a fun time during this draft. And, each day everybody's saying, oh, we have to draft the D end. Oh, it's a D tackle. Oh, it's a corner. Oh, it's a safety. It's like, oh, no. It's a plethora of picks, and it's all going to depend on who the best available is and where you want to feel you take that position. A lot of guys we already have in place that we drafted that will take over for the guys that left. So we'll be talking about that stuff as soon as free agency is over here. But if you guys have any questions about Slay, I'm going to show you some graphics here. Porter, yeah, Forbes is good too. I like Forbes, definitely. But Gonzalez, probably one of my favorites here. But man, that's something we're going to be breaking down into detail. Baker, terrible. Smart move by the team. Yeah, man, we talked about it. And if he wasn't going to come to terms with us, sayonara. And again, he can come back. But this is how we clear up space. Slay is gone. So we're going to make it a post June 1st designation. You will clear up $17.5 million. I can show you that graphic one more time before I get into these other ones here. But you see, here's the money that I explained a couple months ago. So if anybody in the media or anybody's lost, confused, please send them my way. I'll happily explain this for them. But you see, I've made this graphic to simplify it for people to see each move you could make for those 10 players we talked about a couple months ago. And Darius Slay here was obviously one of those top people. So you see here, pre-June 1st, you ain't saving shit. You're losing a lot of money. You got $22 million in dead cap. You don't want that. So you post June 1st it. We talk about prorating that dead cap money, spreading it out. So maybe you got like a $3 million cap dead money this year and then $5 million the next year. So you can spread that dead money out. That's people always try to whine about stuff just because they want to be negative, and it's comical to me. But let's take a look at how the Eagles are doing here so far. So here are the guys that we've lost now with Slay gone. I know a lot of people hated this defense, so getting their wish, tearing this thing down with a lot of the pieces. But for me, you've got the core pieces that we need. We drafted guys like Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean to step it up. You've got yourself, look, hopefully CJ coming back, but you've got Bradbury back in the secondary. So Avonte Maddox is here. You've got pieces to build around. And I know a lot of people in the media are saying free agency is over and that you can't draft, but free agency actually begins today, technically at 4:00, and we will be able to draft. So this roster is nowhere near set. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but last night we broke it down. If you guys want to take a look at every single position for the Eagles, who's a free agent, who is under contract, all that stuff, I've got it broken down for you. Obviously, the corners will be a little bit different, but we went over the guys we lost. And then, of course, the guys we added here, show you that list here with Kelsey, Scott, Toth, Bradbury, and Graham returning. And then, of course, adding Rashad Penny. So excited about that. Go check those videos out from yesterday. And here are the list of guys that have not signed anywhere. And then, of course, I added Darius Slay to the list now. So you see there are still a plethora of our own guys that we need to see. And as I said a couple months ago during that video, I highly doubt most of those guys are coming back. So we want to get back to key guys, Bradbury, CJ, extend Hurts, and then you go from there. So, yeah, I think Lane Johnson's restructure will come soon, maybe today, and then we'll go from there. But you see, look, there's a lot of guys to have decisions to make here. So let's go Birds, baby. But let me show you this cornerback room now with Darius Slay out the door. I'd mentioned it, but give you a little gander here. You got Bradbury, Goodrich, Job, Maddox, McPherson, and Scott. Now, again, I would add in the first couple rounds one of these cornerbacks. I just feel that this has been stressed all damn season and all season that I don't even care if Bradbury and Slay are both here. You still bring in a corner, let him learn, let him grow, because you don't want to necessarily just throw him into the fire. So, look, I'm still all about that move. And, this is just something, let the media get people worked up. I'm going to do my best to try to simplify and explain things. And if there's ever anything you're not understanding, or if I'm saying something and I'm saying it's stupid, because trust me, man, I try. And look, I'm a high plains drifter. So if I'm not saying it right or not explaining it right, seriously, do not be afraid to ask. We all need to learn certain things in life. And my passion is football. So I hope that I can be the help there. And, if you're not learning every day, you're wasting time. So I'm always trying to learn something new. But if there's something that you could teach me, please feel free. But if there's a question you want to ask, do not be afraid. Always here to help, to try to explain this cap. You see the media, they are in a tussle. I saw it right when the move happened. I'm like, they're like, I just don't understand it. I'm like, well, that's why 2 months ago I made that video. So, Yes, you said that. Yes, he is not getting paid. When you get released, that means you're not getting paid. Hey, doing what I can for the people out here because I see all of the misinformation each year. And it's like, look, man, if we could just get these people on board with how things work, they'd probably be able to see it too, but maybe not. Ahead of my time, brother, let me tell you something. If that's not one of my favorite quotes of all time. Now, I always say, like, if I would have had social media growing up, I think everyone that knows me in personal life would be like, oh my God, please, for the love of God, turn that camera off, because I was the most insane person. So ahead of my time, indeed, people making money off of recording themselves being insane. Bro, I would have been a millionaire easily. But I'm Old Man River now and live a peaceful life and just want to talk about my birds. But look, I guess, it's just weird to me that look, I don't care if fans or content creators don't understand it, and you can see that they don't, but it's that they're getting paid for it or acting like they understand. That's what always rubs me wrong. It's like, I'm literally watching what you're saying, and I clearly can tell you don't know what you're saying. So appreciate you, dude. And it's truly my pleasure to do this. And I grew up loving this stuff. I grew up wanting, playing football, but I also wanted to know the business side of it. I was always infatuated with that. So when I always say, like, it's good to be an expert in both, because some of these people think they could just be the football expert or the money expert. And well, you miss out in the middle there. And it is a game, but it's also a business. So you have to find that happy medium. And, I think that you guys are all very well aware that I've done my best to get those people on board, but I think they just get offended more than anything. So, it is what it is, right? And yes, he will not be getting paid by the Eagles when you get cut. Even Ballberry took less money to stay. Yes, he wanted to sign that we're going cornerback. Yeah, and man, we talked about both those people and some other, and look, it's definitely a possibility. An edge rusher is a possibility. Offensive line. Teach me how to Dougie. I'll teach you how to do the cap and how to do everything else if you'd like. But look, I'm going to teach everybody how to get excited this offseason. You see it out there. Everybody's making stuff up every day. It's this guy signing or that guy. I heard this guy's getting traded. Look, I'm here and I'm going to bring you facts. I'm going to teach you all how to understand football. So Howie got something up his sleeve always, man. He works his magic better than anyone. And seeing this stuff every day is hilarious to me. We don't have cap. Oh, we can't do this. It's like, do you guys remember last year what I did to those people? It's like, they wanted it again, I guess. But look, what he's got up his sleeve is bringing CJ back, giving Jalen Hurts that extension, and the restructure of Lane Johnson will occur here. So be prepared for all the moves I talked about a couple months ago to happen now. And that's why I always make them in hopes that people will not lose their minds. But, it is what it is. So if you guys want, feel free. You can tag me in anybody's post if they're confused about it or they're trying to explain something that they just don't really understand. I will happily teach them how it really works. I'm tired of seeing people negatively talk about my Eagles when free agency literally begins today. I can promise you the season is not over because it hasn't even begun. God help us all. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got for you this morning. If you have anything that you want to ask or anything, yes, a couple months ago when we talked about it, it truly was. So if you guys have anything that, you didn't understand throughout that, you saw the money that I brought this graphic from the one from a couple months ago. So you see, if any of the media is trying to twist some things, just send them my way. I'll happily set them on the right path. But look, guys, I hope you're having a great day. I'll be back later today. Any crazy moves happen, I'll be back when CJ happens, when Lane happens. I'll be back for all of that. And then tonight will be another recap of what has gone down from around the NFL. So every move that has been made, you will get to see that. And then you'll get to see the Eagles. And not only who they've added, lost, who's still free agent, but you'll get to see the positions that have changed, who we have under contract and free agency. So if you're somebody who is into knowing every single thing about the Eagles, if you don't like being one of those people that has to say who every week, you don't know your own team, tune in, man. I'm always here trying to keep everybody up to date with everything. Yo, my man. Hope you're doing well. Howie season indeed. A happy day indeed. Back to drawing board for Howie has not left the drawing board. I don't care what the media says. We were not taking free agency off, and we were not going to give up our draft picks just because Dan Sileo said so. We're going to continue doing what we do. Let them be confused. Hopefully this was able to help you guys and help them. If you got anything from it, do me a favor. Hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. But until later today, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You have yourselves a great day. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!